Hi all, welcome to this much requested video, which is the Upgrade SBC. This will feature the standard Upgrade SBC for Serie A and then the 81 plus Upgrade SBC for the Serie A. Basically what I will be doing is I will show you how I do the standard upgrade pretty quickly, but I would have shown the 81 plus, but because I've rinsed the club of my Serie A's, what I've done is I thought just to show as an example, I thought I would show my rinsing of this, like every other league, to kind of bulk up the standard. But it's just kind of same processes. I'll still explain it the same, but then I will then explain when it comes to your buying and your bidding, and also all these mechanics of how I'm able to do like hundreds and hundreds a day, basically, not just for myself, well, not for myself, but for everyone in general. But basically, when you're doing the standard upgrade SBC, generally every player will be on like 3 chem minimum. Easiest way is always start off by league. When you're doing the this standard one, all you just want to do is just rinse by league by league by league. Do it that way. When you're doing the 81 plus, you want to do by obviously your rarity. But for what you've bought, if you've been trying to do like 100, then what you want to be doing is make sure that you've kept everything in the unassigned, because you can get away with that. Don't try and use up your transfer list or your transfer targets where possible. Try and keep everything to your unassigned. But when you're doing your 81 plus, what you want to be doing is basically focus positions, so make sure that you're putting defenders obviously in defence. But if you've went very defensive heavy for your buying runs, and what I call them buying runs, where you're bidding, you're like buying and bidding your 50, what you want to be doing then is, if you're lacking on mids or wingers, make sure that you're putting, depending on the formation, try and ensure that your centre backs are CDMs basically. And if not, if you can't get away with it, or what you do is then you put your left back and your right back at left mid and right mid. You will still get 5 chem, so basically you can, or at worst, 5 chem, it's 6 if you've got them on loyalty. But you'd have even left mid and right mid, depending if you've got quite a lot of wide positions, you can still put them at left back and right back. If you're quite defensively light, you can then find from there you would have 5 chem on your right back, 5 chem on your left back, 10 chem on your centre backs, 9 chem, then your left mid and right mids, depending obviously if you've kept the positions. If you've ended up with centre mids, if you've got a very midfield heavy where your centre mids are very bulked up, then what you want to be doing is try and use centre mids at left and right mid, your maybe CDMs at centre mid. That way you will get 5 chem on your left and right mids, and then 8 chem on your centre mid positions, if depending on the formation. And then obviously striker, you try and use obviously strikers, and then centre forwards would give you 8 chem. It's basic stuff, I know, but some people always forget how best to kind of implement the positions, especially with 70 chem. 70 chem makes it a little bit harder to work with. But obviously everyone that's on loyalty, you would get 110 chem if you wanted to do simple maths. Obviously 100 is your limit, so it just gives you a bit of flexibility. But just to give you rough basic maths, if you've put a goalkeeper in from the start, you would be at 9. Depending how you work your positions, you may have then say 28 chem. We'll just assume that you've maybe got a left mid, right mid in, so, or even a CDM at centre back, which still gives you 5 chem. If we're talking non-loyalty, you would then find that your left back, right back would be at 10, your 2 centre backs at 18, and then say your midfield could be spot on, so you're at 9, 37. Your centre mids and wingers could be say 36. So right away you are, if you've done your maths, you're at 9, 19, 37, 73, and then 2 strikers. You don't necessarily need to then go strikers, you could then still go 2 positions that you maybe be quite heavy in. It could be goalkeepers, for example. You could be very heavy in goalkeepers, which is quite common for Serie A. You could have Sirigu, you could have Consigli, Peperina, Donnarumma, those type of players. But then honestly, that's how you kind of rinse and rinse and rinse. And then when you're doing your buying runs, Minimum price is 600, maximum price usually has been 1500. So what I then do is, when I go and bid on console, so that once you've done like your buying runs on console, as I said, with your 1600, 600 and 1500, that you can just literally go crazy, just be needing what you require, and you can just obviously be wary that you'll get there has been an error if someone else has outbidded you with a higher offer. That just means that you've been banned. When that occurs on console, you jump onto the web app at this point to help your buying process a lot quicker. Just do the 600, 1500 again, and what you want to do is make sure that you're just copy the 1500, and then when you go through the pages, just quickly copy and paste, copy and paste, copy and paste. So when you paste the 1500 into your all the rare players for Serie A, that all you have to then basically do is make sure that all the players that you've got successfully on bid, because you can't obviously, because a lot of the times when you're doing it, you will find that the players are can't be stored within the club. So what you might have to then do is then end up going to your console at this point, and that's when you rinse everything. So you jump back onto foot on the console, rinse everything of your transfer targets, so that way that you have a clean slate even, and that your the players that you've got that you've been successful to get, you can put into your unassigned, and then you quickly just jump out foot, jump back on the web app. You don't even have to do any refreshing usually. If you're very quick, like within a minute, you can still quickly go and do all your buying again on the web app. Do that same cycle. You can generally get away with about, say, anywhere between 6 to 10, 12, 15 runs, depending how it comes down to speed, but also depending if you've been in any trouble in the past. But what you will then find is that you can just do the same cycle. You can keep 50, then you can rinse out the club transfer targets pretty quickly. You will then find from there that you then have a massive surplus of players that you have on your unassigned that's bulked up massively through the web app, and then by the time you jump back on the console to rinse your rares into the SBC, you can go completely crazy on console, just doing best tip is put to newest. So when you're rinsing the players, you go gold, Serie A, newest, and then just literally just go crazy. That you can then, and even if you need to, you can put players in the work area, and then you just kind of swap around accordingly, bulk up that way to the point where you've got right 70 chem, and then you can just go crazy from there. You keep doing it. You jump onto your store, make it look like you're going to open a pack. You'll get told it looks like you have some items to deal with. You make sure from there that you then rinse what you need. Then you just kind of do the same cycle. You just keep doing it. If you're lucky, by the time you finish rinsing that pile, so if you're trying to get 100, you might generally get between 30 and 50 at this point. By the time you go back on to buying again on the console, if you get that error, there has been an error with your bid, please another higher offer, jump onto the web app. You can go crazy with your buying. Then from there you can just go completely crazy again, and then hopefully by the time you've finished on the web app, as I said, by doing the previous aforementioned cycle, you can then hopefully then rinse like crazy, or bid like crazy, on the web, on the console, do that same cycle again, and just keep going until either you've run out of coins, run out of players, run out of however many SBCs that you wish to do. And honestly, you can just completely go crazy to your heart's content. Like, this is how I've been able to do hundreds without breaking real sweat. I can get them done in a day. And as I say, it's a 4-4-2, so as I said, you can just get away with centre mids, left mid, left back, right back, to left and right mid, left, and so forth. But I hope that gives you enough guidance, folks. As I say, it's a lot of repetition, but if you're willing to put the time in, willing to put the effort in, if you're trying to do like 850, 80, 100, 150, 200, whatever it may be, whatever you're trying to pack, and walkout. Blue? Nah, wishful thinking. Chesney? Dybala? No, it's not, it's Icardi. To find there for a wee sec, I was like, who else is an Argentine that's in the game for Serie A? But I will not complain with an Icardi. Hopefully you find this all useful, folks. As I said, if you struggle to get the gist of my accent, completely understand, let me know on Twitter and I'll explain it even in more depth as well if I need to. Hopefully you find this useful, folks. Take it easy all, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you all later.